Okay, this is Scott, and today we are going to be talking about my favorite way to carry a camera and hold a camera. So if that might be appealing to you, stay tuned. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we're going to talk about my favorite way of carrying a camera, and that is using a hand strap. Now, I know a lot of people prefer neck straps, but I do not. I don't like them. I don't like things around my neck. I do put it on my shoulder, but if I'm doing that, I'd rather have one of those sling type, whatever, slider type that you kind of put around you. But even then, especially a camera like this, it's heavy and it's just kind of a burden. I would rather have it in a bag. Now, you may be sitting there saying, yeah, but I don't want to be carrying it all day. And that is very valid, which is why, although it goes beyond the context of this a little bit, is I use a bag like this. So when I'm decided I am kind of, for the moment, done taking pictures, I put it in my bag and then I'll put that on my shoulder or whatever. Or hand carry it or whatever. This particular bag is from a company called MROC. I don't know if they exist anymore, and I'm pretty sure they don't make these bags anymore. I have a few of them to fit different size cameras. I love them. There's a lot to be said about them, but if they don't make them anymore, doesn't matter. So back to hand straps. So this is how I get around, because if I'm gonna have it slinging around and flying around and not protecting my camera by keeping it close to me, I want it to be in padded bag anyways. Kinda, if you're old enough to remember, back in the days, we always used to have these little clamshell covers that you would slide this cover on the bottom of your camera, and then there was this cover that would go over the top. Don't know why, but they fell out of fashion. I think a company called Garrett's makes like the bottom pieces, but nobody makes the wraparound. Probably because lenses got bigger and people just didn't use the standard 50 all the time anymore, so it just didn't make any sense. But you could kind of call this like a throwback to that kind of thing, because basically all it does is it fits a camera. Now, of course, there are different ones, and you can get ones that'll have like an extra space on it. You know, I'm not going to go into details on that. Don't ramble. Keep it to the point. So, this extra strap, the reason I like it is hang on to it. Even if I only got a loose grip on it, I still have this, so my camera is not going anywhere. If I do need my hands, particularly in this strap, I can just hit this and loosen it. I can put my hand through it, and now my hands are totally free if I need them. And as soon as I'm done doing whatever, I can pick it back up and cinch that in, and then I'm good. So I love them. The problem with hand straps is, if you're familiar, I own two different camera brands. I have a Fuji X-T3, and then I have this Panasonic S5. This Panasonic S5 is kind of the newer, more modern design where the handle comes out. That is super important with hand straps, because the shutter button's up here. If my shutter button is on top, it's like I have to do contortions to be able to press it, or I literally have to take my hand out of it. That's when a wrist strap would become a better alternative. So if you have this style, and in Fuji XH1, and hopefully someday an XH2 is of that style, then you're good. But the more retro style cameras, it's not a solution for them. So let's get to the specifics, because I did talk about this strap once before and why I like the Panasonic S5. I like my Fujis too. This is the Peak Design hand strap, and one of the first things I like about it is this little clip here, and if you clip that up, then you can, I'm making this harder than it is because I'm trying to show you, it slides in that little loop, and once you slide that out, you can just pull it off. Now, for people familiar with Peak Design, you'll know about these little Peak Design buttons, and there's one down here, and that's how it uses the little clamp and the button to connect to the bottom. So that is the Peak Design strap. I've had this strap for a while, probably almost a year, and it is holding up admirably well. Hopefully you can see no appreciable wear, so the materials that they've used and everything seem to be quite competent, so kudos to them for that. Essentially I have nothing bad to say about it. I mean, this clamp a little bit heavy, but doesn't usually get in the way. Then the other great thing is, and I don't think I will take the clamp. Always coughing. It's COVID. No, it's not COVID. They use a Arca Swiss plate, and maybe I can be lazy and not take it off, but let me go ahead and take my wrench and go ahead and unscrew it from the camera. So, if you are familiar with Arca plates, I guess the original creator was Arca Swiss. Regrettably, poor little Arca Swiss probably doesn't get royalties from these things. But there is the plate, and there is the little Peak Design button. And they're pretty ingenious. One, it's a really nice lightweight plate, and it doesn't seem to suffer for it strength-wise. So really great job on the plate. Really like the plate. Because one of the other reasons is this is a 4-way plate. Not all Arca plates are 4-way. And when I say that, this is an Arca clamp. Cheap Chinese clamp. This one's only like $9. It slides in, and for the most part, the Peak Design tassel, whatever, doesn't get in the way, and you turn this clamp, and then it clamps. And when it goes in, Arca clamps are just so strong and tight. So never. I mean, you could, if you're sloppy, not paying attention, you could have it so that it would slide off. But for the most part, I've never had one fail. And when I say 4-way, I can turn this any way. So if I have something where the Arca plate is situated this way, this clamp will work. If it's situated this way, this clamp will work. So I really love that about it. I prefer the 4-way clamps. Not all Arca clamps are 4-way clamps. So great job on the clamp as well. So that is pretty much it. Again, it's Peak Design. I will put the model number down below. It won't be a link because I don't get any profit, and I'm telling you wonderful things about this, but I paid for it. I don't get nothing. Peak Design is not asking me to do this. I'm doing it because it's a good product. They made a good product, and you people deserve to know what's good and what's not. So this, great product, if you like hand straps. So I will put the model number down below, and I hope you have liked this video. And if you can, give me a thumbs up to give me a thank you, and please, please subscribe. That's the biggest help you can be to me. Thanks. See you next time.